afternoon. Everyone, please have a seat. On behalf of the faculty, the staff, and the administration of the George Washington University Online High School, we would like to welcome you all to our 2016 commencement ceremony. This afternoon, we're very pleased and excited to recognize a very special group of students. This class of 28 students, like those before it, represent a small, creative, articulate, intelligent, ambitious, curious, and very talented group of kids. Within this group, we have accomplished musicians, we have dancers, we have humanitarians, scientists, athletes, entrepreneurs, writers, and more. As you will hear throughout this program, this is a group of students that really lives our mission both in and outside of the classroom. For all of their academic and extracurricular accomplishments, I'd say their greatest accomplishment is their commitment to service. Each of these students have really added value to our school community, their local communities, and in some cases, globally. This is a group that we're confident that we can say will make a difference in the world. They make us very proud and demonstrate what GWU OHS is all about. We're excited to recognize you today and very excited to celebrate with you and your families. Before we move into the program, a couple of guests that we would like to recognize. For starters, the faculty of GWU OHS, if you would please stand. We're also very fortunate to have two of our advisory board members here with us today, Dr. Michael Corey and Dr. Michael Foyer. And finally, we'd like to recognize representatives from K-12, Mrs. Lisa McClure, who is our Senior Director of Private School Academics, and Mr. Tony Verrocchio, who is the Director of Private School Marketing. Thank you all for joining us. At this time, I'll turn it over to Mrs. Coyle to introduce our keynote speaker.
Good afternoon, GW OHS community. I'm going to try and get through this without messing up the GW OHS after saying it several times. It's so nice to see all of you here today, all of our graduates, your families, and our staff with us. I have the honor of introducing our distinguished speaker, George Washington University's Dean of the Graduate School of Education and Human Development, Dr. Michael Foyer. There are many reasons that Dean Foyer is an ideal candidate to speak for this momentous occasion. He has been a pioneer with our school. His work began at inception, where he helped to forge this powerful partnership with K-12. Serving on the advisory board since that time, he has been a dedicated advocate and supporter for the continued excellence of our school program. Dean Foyer actively seeks to both educate and inspire through his leadership at GWU and his ongoing work with GW OHS. Dean Foyer embodies the GW OHS mission in contributing significantly, responsibly, and respectfully in a global society, a mission that grows with each and every graduate here today. It is my privilege to introduce to you the George Washington University's Dean of the Graduate School of Education and Human Development, Dr. Michael Foyer.
Thank you so much, Maria. What a lovely introduction. What a gorgeous day. What a beautiful group of people here. I got to decide whether I'm going to look at you or look at my notes. I'd rather be looking at you, but okay. It's wonderful to be part of this ceremony. As I was heading out this morning, my wife gave me her usual good advice. Don't try to be charming, witty, or intellectual. Just be yourself. Yeah. Well, anyway, I will This is why we have spouses. I will break with one tradition, which is talking too much, and try to keep my remarks brief. I think it was Albert Einstein who once said, "Light travels faster than sound. That's why certain people appear bright until you hear them speak." Hello to the class of 2016. Now, I know we have about half the graduates with us here in the room physically, and the others, I think, are with us virtually, a distinction that this group, more than most, realizes doesn't mean that much anymore. After all, one of the things you and the GWU Online High School have proven is how close we can be, how connected we can be, how together we can be, even if we're not in the same physical space at the same time. And I will get back to that in a moment. Wow, you did it. You are now high school graduates, which means, among other things, you are joining a small group, about 3.3 million, nationwide, who finished this year, plus or minus. According to reputable sources, the national graduation rate is now about 10 percentage points higher than it was at the turn of this century, which is really quite remarkable progress if you think about the challenges that we have had economically, demographically, politically, and otherwise. More important, maybe for this group, is that the GW Online High School experience actually is so much better than the national trend. According to, again, reputable sources, alternative, charter, and virtual schools collectively account for about 14% of high schools and 8% of high school students, but they make up 52% of the low graduation rate high schools. I don't have the exact numbers for schools that are like yours, the virtual ones, the completely virtual ones, but there's no question that your graduation rate and your college application, acceptance, and admissions rate is spectacularly better than what appears to be the national average. So we are grateful to you for letting us do the easy part, which is be proud of you and get the credit. But we know this was your work and the work of your families, your fabulous teachers and coaches and mentors and technologists who made it all possible. Let's thank them, will you? Will the parents and siblings, grandparents, children, pets, whoever's here, connected to the graduates, please stand for a moment. And I want to ask the K-12 and online high school faculty and staff who are here to stand with you. I know some of you are here, Cassie, Angela, Diane, Whitney, Lisa, the K-12 people. You can't hide from me, I see you there. And let me do a special shout out to my dear colleague, Mike Corey, who actually on behalf of the graduate school is the main leading light that has enabled us to have this experience and to come to this day. Mike, take another bow, will you please? This is wonderful. You can sit now. I have a few more minutes. I don't want you to. So bravo to all of you. I was looking over some of the statistics from your class, and all I can say is that you've proven one very important point. When we started the high school, I think it's about 6 years ago, we frankly weren't at that moment 100% sure that this experiment would succeed. But the data are starting to make the case, and quite strongly. You've been admitted to dozens of the best colleges and universities in the country. Many of you are receiving substantial financial aid from those institutions, and there's no question in my mind or in the faculty's mind that you are leaving the George Washington University Online High School, quote, college and career ready. Bravo to all of you. So, it's a beautiful day. It's a graduation speech, so there's a lot of happy talk. That's as it should be. But let's not forget that the world is a complicated place and that all this good news isn't the whole story. Are any of you hockey fans by any chance? Yes, okay. We had a rather exciting season and a disappointing end, unless you happen to be from Pittsburgh, but we won't go into that. Well, one of the statistics that they use in hockey is called the plus-minus. The idea is that players get a plus if their team scores a goal while they're on the ice and a minus if the opposing team scores. It's a nice idea. And I've always liked it because it suggests that we all have our pluses and minuses. And that success doesn't usually happen without a certain amount of failure along the way. And maybe most important, that we all share in the responsibility for how our whole team does. So what's that got to do with graduation? What's that got to do with you? Well, here are a few plus minuses that come to mind as I celebrate with you today. First, what you've proven is something very amazing about American education. From the beginning, we kind of liked the idea that there wasn't a single best way to prepare people educationally for a productive life. Our school system is sometimes criticized for being slow to change, but the truth is different. We've been incredibly innovative and agile, and the latest example of that is what you have now proven. Online learning is a pretty new thing. When I was a kid, online was where we stood while we were waiting for our books to be distributed, where we wasted lots of time wondering if there was going to be enough food in the cafeteria for us to get a piece. By the way, my graduating class, I was thinking of this as you were processing in here, it was about this sort of similar in many ways, except we had 1,092 students graduating from high school that year. So times change. The point is, thanks to the creative and independent energy of the people who at K-12 and with the GW Online High School make a reality, we have now proven that, again, there are different useful and productive and enriching ways to be a high school student and a high school graduate. You're part of this big 82%, which is roughly the national graduation rate. That's the plus. So, are there any minuses in this story? Well, yes. One problem is that we are still trying to figure out, as a nation, how to see to it that all young people can benefit from a meaningful educational experience. Whether in traditional so-called bricks and mortar schools or in the virtual kind that you have experienced, we have an impressive record, certainly compared to most other countries, but we've still got a long way to go. We've made progress, for example. Educational attainment of African Americans has been steadily rising, and the black-white achievement gap has been narrowing. But don't let the good news lull you into complacency or fatigue. The fact that life expectancy in neighborhoods just 35 miles from here is lower than in some parts of the developing world. The fact that 52 years after passage of the Civil Rights Act, 4 in 10 Black and Latino students attend segregated schools, and the fact that in the last 30 years we've allowed income inequality to explode to levels never before seen in this country, with now 22% of our children below the poverty line, means that you now are part of this, have got plenty of work ahead of us. I hope that as you open the next chapters in your own personal life stories, in college or not, you will dedicate yourselves to fulfilling the great dream and promise of this great country, and will reflect on one of the most important lessons of your online experience. It's the lesson of connection. not separation. It's the lesson of building bridges, not walls. It's a lesson of recognizing how much better off we all are for being able to communicate and to follow today's digital jargon, to interact. Thinking about the plus minus, I'm asking you to take advantage of the pluses and look ahead to a life in which we strive together to reduce the minuses. Now, I know there's a math teacher here, so I think I have this right, that reducing minuses, that's like two negatives, that makes a positive. I got that part right. By the way, there's another plus minus lesson from your own GW online high school experience, and that's the international thing. Now, it's easy to talk about the global this and the global that and the changing economy and so forth, but you guys have not just talked the talk, you have actually walked the virtual walk. I think some, if not many of you, have actually been able to connect with young people in other countries, online and in some cases in person, and I think that is just a tremendous plus. Is there a minus on that one? Well, there's a lot of nasty rhetoric out there coming from people who either forgot or chose to forget that one of the things that makes this country great is indeed its openness and its accessibility to the great big world. Between 1890 and 1930, 22 million new immigrants came to our shores, most likely the largest single migration experience in the history of the world, and their eventual success at becoming productive and satisfied Americans without losing their own cultural heritage is attributable largely to our education system. Okay, so where's the minus? Well, it isn't the facts, because that's pretty obvious. It's rather about how the facts are distorted. None other than the National Academy of Sciences, considered among the most prominent scientific organizations in the world, recently set the record straight and the rhetoric straight on immigration and its effects on American life. I don't have time to get into the details, but the short version is this. Much of what we hear from politicians trying to score points is not worth the headline ink they are spilling. By the way, another hockey metaphor comes to mind. If you try to score points in hockey while slashing your opponent with the stick, you get kicked out. Let's keep that in mind when we watch some of our leaders bashing and slashing each other and lots of us with the verbal equivalents of hockey sticks gone wild. As high school grads, I'm counting on you to make sure people have the right info, and God knows you have more skill in accessing data from all kinds of sources than almost any of us old folks ever did. As high school grads, you have new skills, knowledge, and most of all, an ethic of truth. So don't let the barbarians wear you down. Fight the minus with as big a push toward the plus as you can muster. These are tough times, but when I look at you and your families and your communities, I'm confident, I'm optimistic that together we will keep the plus-minus ratio positive. And you won't be alone. We have your back, and we'll be there for you. Sometimes we'll push, sometimes we'll nudge, sometimes we'll just be a big pain in the butt. But just remember, we love you, and we will be cheering for you. Oh, one more thing, just so you don't think I'd miss a chance to sound like a boring grown-up. Please, 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 don't let drugs and alcohol ruin your lives. My wife, when she's not doing stand-up comedy, is an addiction doctor. And the stories I hear, don't ask. So now, I will follow the wise advice of a great American, Franklin Roosevelt, who once said, "Be sincere, be brief, and be seated." Good luck, God bless, do good things, and keep in touch. Thank you.
Thank you, Dean Foyer. If you'd come up for just a moment. We'd just like to present you with a gift to thank you
Well, thank you.
for all of your support of the school over the last 5 years. He really does work hard and advocate on our behalf, so we really would like to thank him for his efforts.
Thank you very much. Whatever's in this envelope, I'm sure it's wonderful. This is the real gift. Thank you.
As I mentioned earlier, this really is a talented group of students. As you're about to hear, this class of 28 students has been offered over $2.7 million in scholarships and awards. That's huge for such a small class. At this time, we'd like to recognize those students who have been awarded scholarships. So Mrs. Beasley, our college counselor, will come up, and students, please come to the stage as your name is called.
Good afternoon, everyone. The first senior that we would like to recognize is Colin Barker. Colin received several scholarship awards, some of which include the Wheaton College Community Scholarship, the University of New England Dean Scholarship. He was also awarded the Presidential Volunteer Service Award. Colin received over $380,000 in scholarships. He will attend Roger Williams University, where he received the Presidential Scholarship and Hawks Leadership Award. Congratulations. The next senior we would like to recognize is Noah Deco. Noah received several scholarship and grants as well, including the Wittenberg University Broadwell Chin Award and Wittenberg University Grant. Noah received over $243,000 in scholarships. He will be attending Earlham College, where he received the Earlham College Grant for over $24,000. Congratulations. The next senior we would like to recognize is Monica Dobbin. Monica received the AXA Community Scholarship, additionally the EOD Warrior Foundation Scholarship. She received a total of over $56,000 in scholarships. She will be attending Johns Hopkins University next year, where she received the university's Early Decision Grant and Applied Physics Lab Scholarship. Congratulations. The next senior we'd like to recognize is Benjamin Esposito. Benjamin also received several scholarships, including the Elon University Presidential Scholarship, the George Washington University Presidential Scholarship. He received over $482,000 in scholarships. He will be attending Gardner-Webb University, where he received the Merit and Honors Scholarships. Congratulations. Our next senior is Ariana Fisher. Ariana received the Miami University Oxford Scholarship for $7,500 annually. Next year, she will be attending the George Washington University, where she was awarded the Presidential Scholarship. Ariana received over $130,000 in scholarships. Congratulations. Next, we'd like to recognize Sarah Hesterman. Sarah received the Global Citizen Scholarship to the American University in Paris of €5,000 annually. She will be attending the Global College of Long Island University, where she was awarded the Honors Scholarship and Global Citizen Award. She received over $98,000 in scholarships. Congratulations. Next, we'll recognize Meghana Joshi. Meghana received the Hofstra University Merit Scholarship and a few others as well. She received $176,000 in scholarships. She will be attending the New School next year, where she received a Merit Scholarship. Congratulations, Meghana. Our next senior is Lucas Liepert. Lucas received a merit scholarship totaling $3,500 for the University of Waterloo, which he will be attending next year. Congratulations. Our next senior is Tessa Register. Tessa also received several scholarships, including the Fordham University Tuition Award and the Savannah College of Art and Design Academic Scholarship. She received over $243,000 in scholarships, and this includes full tuition to the University of Georgia, where she will be attending next year. Congratulations. Our next senior is Kayla Shannon. Kayla also received several scholarship offers, including the St. Mary's College of Maryland Academic Scholarship. She received $79,000 in scholarship awards. She will be attending McDaniel College next year as a recipient of an Academic Achievement Award. Congratulations. The next senior is Anna Stolfire, who also received a couple of scholarship offers. She received the George Mason University Distinction Award and the George Washington University Presidential Scholarship. She received $112,000 in scholarships and will be attending the University of California in San Diego next year. Congratulations. Finally, we have several students who also received scholarships and awards but were unable to join us today. So we had Zoe Arnold, who was awarded the Simmons College Meritship Scholarship totaling $84,000. Alexandra Barnes Schwartz was awarded the Allegheny College Trustees Scholarship of $10,000 per semester. Reed Bokenheid received several awards, including George Mason University Mason Declaration Scholarship, the Penn State University Provost Award, the Washington Blue and Gray Award, all totaling $98,000. We also had Samuel Premack, who received several awards, including the Boston Conservatory Merit Award, the Eastman School of Music Merit Scholarship, and the Longy School of Music Merit Scholarship, in addition to others, all totaling over $95,000. Nautica Nas was awarded several scholarships as well, including the Iona College Merit Scholarship and the Pace University Merit Scholarship, totaling over $212,000. Finally, we had Michael Robertson, who was awarded the University of South Carolina McKissick Scholars Award and the George Washington University Presidential Scholarship, totaling over $77,000. Again, congratulations to all of our scholarship and award winners. At this time, I would ask Mrs. Brownlow to come on stage to present the National Honor Society Awards.
Hello, everyone. I'm going to tilt this down just a little bit. Okay. So, NHS Awards. The National Honor Society, NHS, is the nation's premier organization established to recognize outstanding high school students. More than just an honor roll, NHS serves to honor those students who have demonstrated excellence in the areas of scholarship, leadership, service, and character. Membership not only recognizes students for their accomplishments, but challenges them to develop further through active involvement in school activities and community service. Today, it is estimated that more than 1 million students participate in NHS activities. GWUOHS is graduating 12 members of the National Honor Society. Students, please come forward to receive your cords as your name is called. To begin, Colin Barker. Noah DeCowd. Monica Devon. Benjamin Esposito. Haley Forbes. Am I going fast? I wasn't sure how fast they were recording back here. Lucas Liepert. Tessa Register. Anna Stuhlfire. Emily Sweet. We do have a handful of NHS members who are not in attendance today. Those are Reed Bokenhide, Rebecca Carrara, Tricia King, and Samuel Primick. Congratulations to all of our NHS grads.
Thank you. One more round of applause for all of our award winners. We have one additional award, which is always fun each year and very hard to select, and that is our Outstanding Capstone Award. I believe most of you were here yesterday as the students presented their projects, and it's just such a pleasure to see the whole process. The students put a lot of hard work into their capstones each year, and it's always fun to see those final outcomes. For those who were not here, the final requirement for our seniors' graduation from GWU OHS is to complete a capstone project. It's intended to be an intensive, active learning project, requiring a significant amount of effort, both in planning and in implementation, as well as preparation of a substantial product. The projects are multifaceted, and they serve as a culminating academic and intellectual experience. This is very similar in some ways to a college thesis. The capstone projects take a variety of forms, but most are long-term and very investigative projects, culminating in the product, the presentation, or a performance. Students select a topic of interest to them, they conduct research, maintain a portfolio of findings, results, and create a final product demonstrating the learning that they've acquired. For those who observed those presentations, clearly the hard work, the passion, and the preparation was on display. This year, we had one particular student who went well above and beyond the requirements of the presentation, and for that, we have decided to recognize this student with the annual Outstanding Capstone Project Award. This year's recipient chose a topic that was a true learning stretch, and I have to add that she looked like she was having a great time doing it. She challenged herself intellectually and physically and presented a project that was professional, engaging, and thoughtful. It gives me great pleasure to present the 2016 Outstanding Capstone Award to Haley Forbes. If you haven't had a chance to see Haley's final product, I suggest that you ask her to see her video. It's just amazing. I was telling her that I'm not much of a risk taker, but that made me want to venture out a little bit. So congratulations again, Haley. All right, it's now time for the presentation of the diplomas. Seniors, if you would please stand and prepare to approach the stage.
Colin Barker. Noah Deco. Monica DeMon. Benjamin Esposito. Ariana Fisher. Haley Forbes. Sarah Hesterman. Meghana Joshi. Lucas Liepert. Tessa Register. Kayla Shannon. Anna Stolfire. Emily Sweet. Would also like to take a moment to acknowledge the students that are graduating but were not able to attend today. Zoe Arnold, Zachary Bayonne, Ioli Baltas, Alexandra Barnes-Schwartz, Reed Bokenhide, Christy Bromley, Rebecca Carrera, Olivia DiFrancesco, Trisha King, Michaela Manugian, Nautica Naz, Stephanie Nepa, Samuel Premack, Michael Robertson, and David Selden. Congratulations. It is now time for our senior class farewell address. Ms. Brownlow, if you would like to introduce our student speaker.
Sarah Hesterman is a 17-year-old advocate for gender equality. Sarah has been named one of the BBC's 100 Women in 2014, a Girl Hero by Nobel laureate, Malala Yousafzai, and Air Force Military Child of the Year 2015. She has also spoken at the World Innovation Summit for Education, at a TEDx event, and participated as a youth delegate in the United Nations Youth Assembly. Sarah is currently on the National Teen Advisory Board for Girl Up, a United Nations Foundation campaign that promotes education and leadership opportunities for girls in developing countries. She recently returned from living in the Middle East and has committed to Long Island University's Global College, where she will study global studies in 8 countries on 6 different continents. Sarah?
Hello, everybody. Don't be confused by my lack of tassel. I'm graduating. I just lost it. So I thought I would tell you a little bit about myself. I think one of the beauties of online school is that we get to adapt it to our schedule, but we don't really get to know each other that much, so I'll tell you a little bit more. So in 2013, I left Washington, D.C. for a 2-year adventure with my family in the Middle East. I'd spent my freshman year at a wonderful private high school just up the street, and I fully intended to return to that high school for my senior year. But then, unexpectedly, as life goes, everything changed. During my 2 years in the Middle East, I think I became a different person. As I traveled throughout the region, as well as Asia and Africa, well, the Middle East is in Asia, and Africa, my eyes were open to human rights abuses. I saw modern-day slavery used to build million-dollar malls and airports. I saw the struggles of the lower class to do any kinds of work possible just to feed their families and put any roof over their heads, while trying to maintain some sense of dignity. I witnessed the marginalization of women and girls, some of who will never know the joy of reading a book or feeling the achievement of their personal goals and their dreams. I helped orphans build their school in Tanzania and met girls who would be forced to quit learning as young teenagers in order to start having babies and get married to men much older than them. I saw Syrian refugees living in tents in Jordan, some of who will spend their entire lives with one bag of personal items that they were able to flee with when escaping the conflict in their homes. I knew that I had to take action, and to take action now. I wanted to be a voice for those who don't have a voice in this world. I connected with the United Nations Foundation organization called Girl Up that advocates for the education, health, and safety of girls in developing countries. I started the first Girl Up chapter while I was in Qatar, and then I became a national level teen advisor. But I wanted to do more, so I tried to apply to as many opportunities as I could, which led me to the United Nations and being a teen delegate. I returned to the US last summer, like I said, a completely changed person. I didn't have much in common with my friends from my old school who had been there for the 3 previous years. And I was trying to connect with them, but I just couldn't translate my experiences in a way where they could understand. And I was really trying to put into context those experiences as a privileged American and see what I could do to help others. So I visited my old school and realized that the world was now my classroom. And I think that it just didn't feel possible to return. So I found out about George Washington University Online High School, and I thought it was just the perfect solution. I could take my AP classes, I could take regular classes, still fulfill that school requirement, but continue the work that I had started when I lived in Qatar. This fall semester, I felt like I was on top of the world. I was juggling school, travel, and work, and I really attribute all of that to being able to have this flexible online platform. In December, there became a new wrinkle, and I became very sick with chronic fatigue, which, for those of you who don't know, your wake-sleep cycle is completely destroyed. You're always tired. It's really hard to get up after you sleep, but it's also really difficult to go to bed, so there's kind of this weird limbo that you're in. And my energy was completely sapped. I couldn't focus on my schoolwork anymore. It was becoming difficult to even roll over and get on my computer and do some of my online classes. And I think even though I didn't feel like I had enough energy to do anything, knowing that my teachers were always there for me, having that online classroom that I could access at any time was really my saving grace. And whether in large chunks or at one sentence at a time, at midnight or at noon, I could do my work. I started to feel better this spring, and I got back into a great routine. And then we found out we were moving in May, and that was my 11th move, so kind of used to it, but in senior year, it's kind of difficult to move at the end. But with GW Online High School, I didn't miss a beat as we packed up and we headed a few states away. And again, it was my saving grace. It really helped me. When I started online school, I was a little bit worried about being a transfer student senior year, especially with college acceptances, college applications, makes it a little bit more difficult. However, I was able to get into my top 2 colleges of choice with scholarships, and I now believe, in retrospect, that attending this school really allowed myself to grow as a person, and it allowed me to take on these large leadership roles that I wouldn't have been able to if I was in traditional school. In short, I think this program was the perfect choice for my senior year, which was filled with unexpected and significant challenges. As a student of the world, I decided to attend a college that offers an extreme study abroad program and use the skills that I've learned this year, being self-directed, organized, and responsible for my own work. Thank you so much to our wonderfully patient teachers and the great staff that help us get to this very special day of high school graduation. I know that we wouldn't be here without you, so I'm sure we're all very thankful for the support that you've given us. And to my fellow graduates, congratulations and the best of luck. I encourage you each to find something that you're really passionate about, go out in the world, and become a person of action. And let's vow to make the world and our communities a better place as we move forward as graduates of this program that gave us such a great foundation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sarah. Another round of applause for our class of 2016. At this time, you are officially graduates and may turn your tassels. Families, please join us for a reception, and you're welcome to use the outdoor space for photos as well. Thank you again.